Hello there. This is my Moza CS wheel. I have reviewed this. There is a link in the description if you haven't seen that video. There was some questions by a couple of guys asked me if I could swap out the wheel rim on this just to see what fits, and I do have a couple of wheel rims. There was a request for this one in particular, a OMP Trecento wheel, and that's 300mm. The one you get with the Moza CS is 330, and also have a Sparco P310, something which a wheel rim I do like a lot. It's one of my favourites. So obviously if you want to swap it out, the reason to swap it out is to get something smaller on there, something lighter, a little bit more agile. And the only thing you need to worry about, because if you do ask Moza, apparently if you ask their support about swapping out a wheel rim, they advise you not to, as it could affect warranty. And the reason for that, and I kind of understand it, is if you go to the back, the quick release and this piece here, if I can get in there, if you can see it kind of, sort of anyway, there's obviously some pins in there, and that obviously goes through to the steering column, that powers the button box. And if you take out these bolts here, you basically end up with three separate parts: the wheel rim, the actual button plate, and also this piece here, the quick release. So and what happens is, because this is attached to that piece there, it means you're going to have a bit of looseness there. So you do need to be careful, because obviously it's a wire that connects these two to that, and that's the only thing that's going to be retaining them when you take out these bolts. So I'm going to take out the bolts, but I do have a plan to make it a little bit easier, since I'm a bit of a hack, but I've got some blue tack, and what I'm going to do is just stick it along here. And the reason I think this might help me is because when you start taking this stuff off and you get that looseness, the holes between the quick release and the actual button plate may misalign, and I figured that if I use blue tack, it's there just to hold it in place so it doesn't kind of go out of whack, because it is a bit of a hassle, because basically you're blindly trying to get the bolts back into the quick release. You can't see anything, so it is actually quite hard to do, and therefore this is my method of trying to hold this quick release to the button plate while we swap out wheels. So hopefully that should work. There you go, that's my hack. Let's get on and take out these bolts. I mean, ultimately you should be able to run a lot of wheel rims on this, and it's all about clearing you know, the controls here, and of course even clearing the side of the actual button plate. Because what you'll find is it's kind of a, you know, it's a thing, not every wheel rim is exactly the same. You know, that's something you do need to take into account. It's probably if I just loosen everything first before, this way it'll just all stay aligned. So that's the way to do it, just loosen all the bolts. So yeah, different wheel rims are going to fit on different wheel, button plates more comfortably, because sometimes you get a particular wheel rim is going to be slightly awkward the way the spoke design is, and it's not going to fit, because in fact you can actually see, if I just tip it up, you can see how it's curved there, and you can see how it's straight on there. Let me just bring it into view. You can see how it's straight on there and curved on there. So that's a different design, and that could potentially conflict with those pieces there. So you do need to kind of consider this sort of stuff. Some wheel rims are easier and more generic. In fact, you know, this one might be, you can see that one also has straight lines there, but that should be okay. We should be alright, I think, but you don't know until you get them on there. And of course these are fatter pieces on there as well, which means it may have a bit of a problem on the side there, but yeah, we'll find out. But yeah, there's nothing much to this job. It's just taking out the bolts and then sticking another rim on there and seeing if it fits. I was also asked about weighing this Trecento with the button box and the quick release. So I'll give you the weight on there as well. I'll pop it on screen. Because by putting on a smaller wheel rim, also you're lightening the load. It'll increase the force feedback intensity, and also makes for a more agile wheel rim, because you've got less, you've got smaller thing there. So there you go, easy enough, isn't it? So that should hold it in place. Yeah, there you go. So that has worked, and this way the actual screw holes all the way through are now aligned. So let's put this one on. This is the one I was requested. Does it fit on here? It does not. It does not. And that's one thing I mentioned, guys. You're going to have potentially problems with some of these. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a couple of these back in, just so I have prevents any problems. So let me just tip this up. So this wheel rim does not fit on here. Like I said, you can get problems with these rims because if I line the bolt pattern up, it's basically covering the top of this, because the sweep of the original one is different to that on this wheel rim. I do know it does work. This does work with the Turn Racing wheel rims, but yeah, it doesn't work with that one, which is sad, unfortunately. But this is kind of an awkward one. I do know this. Yeah, this can have problems with lots of different button plates. So let's take that one out of the way. Let's see how we get on with the Sparco. And okay, so we've got a similar sort of problem here. Maybe let's just see if that clears that. Okay, so yeah, we do also have a problem here. So again, what the issue on this one is, which I kind of mentioned actually earlier in the video, is, let's go to the back. If I can even get to the back here. What we got here, we have a problem with this piece here, these pieces here. They've kind of run over the side of here, and it doesn't fit. So as I said, you do need to be careful about this sort of stuff, guys. I'm sure I do have a wheel rim somewhere in my collection that would work and fit on there, including the Turn Racing wheel rim. That I know that does work, but these two do not. So yeah, be extra careful. There's not much you can do about that. I mean, there you go. You can see it looks like it should work fine with lots of wheel rims, but sadly it does not. You do need to be careful with your selection, and I don't really know what I can really tell you much more about that. I mean, ideally what you want is some sort of printout of that layout, which you can then print out on some A4, and then you can check against some plans of some wheel rims and actually check it against the actual spoke pattern of a wheel. So that's not much you can do. That's all I can really suggest. But to do that is obviously, in itself is obviously somewhat of a hassle. So it is what it is. But yes, the Moza CS button plate, very much designed around this wheel rim which you get with it, and not necessarily very universal to fit with a bunch of others. So yeah, do be aware of that. Let me just try this before I go. I mean, this has still got a quick release on there, but I'm just going to see if that fits on there, just over the top. See, that one does, yeah. So that is OMP 320, and I can see. I'll just put it this way, guys, and you can see it does clear everything. So this one would work just fine. I decided not to be lazy, so I have hard mounted it to the button plate so you can see it properly on there, and it does clear everything just fine. Everything is accessible, and it's a nice rim. It fits this well, this OMP rim. It's pretty nice. I also pulled out my Turn Racing rim as well, so I'll fit this on there and we can have a look at that as well. Okay, it does fit. It is close. It's a close call. You can see at the bottom there. It is just barely touching, so it does fit, but it is rather close. Let me get my hands in there and see how that fits. Well, it's okay. The clearance is still close though. You can see my pinky finger there. I have medium-sized hands and the thumb there as well. The thumb's okay. I think if I got gloves, maybe I will touch that edge there with my fingers, my little fingers. It's possible, but yeah, I think I'd get away with that with my sized hands. But something to bear in mind that it does fit and looks really nice. I'm sure you'll agree, but it is a close call, so that may not be suitable for everyone if you have large hands, I would say. paddle shifters are a little bit close, but that's because I'm using those spacers there, and I'll just remove them and that'll be fine. So yeah, getting to the paddle shifters is okay. Although yeah, fairly tight, because look at that. I'd probably want them a little bit further in, but that's as far as they go in. So not perfect, but I could probably run with this and be okay with it. But there you go. I'll weigh this actually, because it is a lighter setup. You may be interested in that as well. So we have, that's 1.9 kilos, so 1900 grams. So a nice weight reduction over using that rim here, the original one. And there you have it. So thanks for watching, guys. If you do sort of start inundating me with queries and going, oh, does that rim fit on it? Obviously I don't know if I don't have the rim, and I'm probably don't have every rim in the world, so do bear in mind that's just really a sample of stuff I have to give you an idea of how compatible this button plate will be with other wheel rims out there. So yeah, just something you're gonna have to work out for yourself, really, I suppose, beyond the ones I've shown you. Well, thanks for watching, hope this helped, and I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy, happy simming, and bye bye for now.